What if everything you think you know about reality is a lie? What if your entire world, the one you see, hear, and feel, is just a tiny, carefully crafted illusion? Imagine for a moment that the universe is a vast, endless ocean, brimming with countless wonders and mysteries. Now, imagine you're observing this ocean through a tiny, clouded porthole on a submerged submarine. You might see a fish or two, maybe some seaweed swaying in the currents, and you'd think you understand the ocean. But what you're seeing is less than a drop in that infinite sea. This isn't just a metaphor for the universe itself, but for your own experience of it. Every single one of us is seeing only a sliver, a mere fraction of what's truly out there. And what's more astonishing, we're entirely unaware of how much we're missing. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this incredible, unsettling truth. You are, in a very real sense, blind to 99% of reality, and your brain works incredibly hard to keep it that way. Our perception isn't some crystal clear window onto the world. It's more like a highly creative artist, constantly sketching, editing, and even inventing scenes, all based on fragmented clues. Your brain isn't just a passive receiver, taking in every detail like a video camera. Oh no, it's a master storyteller, piecing together a coherent narrative from an overwhelming flood of raw data. It doesn't just receive information, it actively builds your reality moment by moment. And what it builds is heavily influenced by everything you've ever learned, every expectation you hold, and every bias you've picked up along the way. So, the world you experience, the one you trust so implicitly, is not the world as it truly is, but a highly processed, deeply personal, and often wildly incomplete version of it. Let's start with your senses, those five trusty gateways to the world. We rely on them absolutely, believing they show us what's real. But the truth is, your senses are incredibly limited, like a very exclusive nightclub bouncer only letting in a tiny fraction of the crowd. Take sight, for example. What we call visible light is just a minuscule slice of the electromagnetic spectrum, a vast cosmic ocean of energy waves. Beyond the colors, you can see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. There are X-rays, radio waves, microwaves, infrared, ultraviolet. An entire universe of light that passes right through and around you, completely invisible to your eyes. Imagine what it would be like to see the heat radiating off every object, or the radio signals buzzing through the air. You can't, because your eyes simply aren't wired for it. The same goes for hearing. You can hear a certain range of sound frequencies, but dogs can hear higher pitches, and elephants can pick up low rumblings that are completely silent to us. Bats navigate their world using sounds we can't even perceive. What about touch? We feel pressure, temperature, pain. But there are subtle vibrations, energy fields, and atmospheric pressures that we're completely oblivious to. And taste and smell? While powerful, they too operate within narrow parameters, missing countless chemical nuances that insects or other animals can easily detect. Our senses give us enough to survive, to navigate, to find food and avoid danger, but they are far from giving us the full picture. We are like musicians who can only hear 3 notes on a piano with 88 keys, utterly unaware of the symphony we're missing. Even the information that does make it past your limited senses gets a serious makeover inside your head. Your brain is a ruthless editor, constantly prioritizing, filtering, and discarding information at an astonishing rate. It has to. If it tried to process every single sensory input, every flicker of light, every subtle scent, every tiny sound wave, you would be instantly overwhelmed. It would be like trying to drink from a fire hose. So, your brain has developed an ingenious, if somewhat sneaky, system for efficiency. It decides what's important, what's relevant, and what's new, and throws out the rest. Think about the cocktail party effect. You're in a loud, crowded room full of chattering voices. Yet, somehow you can focus on one conversation, tuning out all the background noise. Then, if someone suddenly mentions your name across the room, your attention instantly snaps to it. Your brain wasn't consciously listening to all those other conversations, but it was processing them on some level, waiting for something relevant to pop out. This filtering isn't just about sound. It happens with everything. This explains why we often miss easily apparent details right in front of us, like when you're looking for your keys and they're sitting right there. Or the famous invisible gorilla experiment, where people watching a video completely miss a person in a gorilla suit walking through the scene because they're focused on another task. Your brain is a selective attention superstar, which is great for staying sane, but terrible for seeing the whole picture. Now, here's where the real challenge comes in. This constant filtering and construction isn't just a quirky brain trick, it has profound consequences. It means that errors are baked into our perception, biases are constantly influencing what we see, and our experience of reality is inherently subjective. Two people can witness the exact same event and walk away with completely different, yet equally confident accounts. Why? Because their brains have filtered, interpreted, and constructed the event based on their unique histories, expectations, and biases. There isn't one objective truth, there are countless subjective truths, all equally convinced of their own accuracy. And here's the kicker, the truly unsettling part. We often operate under the grand illusion that our perceptions are accurate and complete. We walk around with this misplaced confidence, firmly believing that what we see, hear, and feel is the unvarnished truth. The brain's construction of reality is so seamless, so utterly convincing, that we are almost entirely unaware of all the missing information, all the biases, and all the underlying assumptions shaping our world. It's like watching a perfectly edited movie and never realizing that 99% of the footage was left on the cutting room floor. We don't know we're blind, and that makes us truly blind. So, what does this profound realization mean for us? First, it's a powerful call to embrace critical thinking. If our own perceptions are so deeply flawed and incomplete, then we must constantly question our own assumptions, our own certainties. What we believe to be true might just be a very well-told story by our brain. Second, it highlights the immense value of seeking diverse perspectives. Since everyone's brain is constructing a slightly different reality, listening to others isn't just about being polite. It's about trying to piece together a broader, less incomplete picture of the world. Each person's porthole view might show a different part of the ocean. Recognizing these perceptual limitations fosters an incredible openness to new ideas. When you understand that your current reality is a construct, you become less rigid, more curious, and less certain about your understanding of the world. This journey reveals the incredible fragility of our subjective experiences, and yes, our potential for misunderstanding and even manipulation. But this isn't a reason to despair, it's an invitation to grow. Acknowledging that we are blind to so much of reality is the crucial first step towards a more nuanced, a more informed, and ultimately a more accurate understanding of the world around us and of ourselves. The universe is far stranger, far more complex, and far more awe-inspiring than anything your brain can show you. The real adventure begins when you realize you've only just begun to look. If you want to keep exploring the incredible mysteries of the human mind, tap here to watch our next video.